Hey guys, here we are for another episode of Books with Belle. She's got a little chewy so that she'll stay here for the video. Today we're going to read a book called Frederick. It's by one of my favorite authors, Leo Leone. There's a lot of books by this author in the classroom. So if you look here in the corner, you see something familiar. We have a Caldecott medal. And when a book wins the Caldecott honor, that means that they have wonderful illustrations. So the pictures in this book are awesome, all right? So this is called Frederick. Here we go. All along the meadow where the cows grazed and the horses ran, there was an old stone wall. In that wall, not far from the barn and the granary, a chatty family of field mice had their home. Love the illustrations. But the farmers had moved away, the barn was abandoned, and the granary stood empty. And since winter was not far off, the little mice began to gather corn and nuts and wheat and straw. They worked all day and night. All except for Frederick. They're all working hard. Why isn't Frederick? Frederick, why don't you work? They asked. I do work, said Frederick. I gather sun rays for the cold, dark winter days. You see him soaking up the sun. And when they saw Frederick sitting there staring at the meadow, they said, And now, Frederick. Why isn't he doing anything now? I gather colors, answered Frederick simply, for winter is gray. So as they gather food for winter, he's gathering colors. And once Frederick seemed half asleep. Are you dreaming, Frederick? They asked reproachfully. But Frederick said, Oh no, I'm gathering words, for the winter days are long and many, and we'll run out of things to say. The winter days came, and when the first snow fell, the 5 little field mice took to their hideout in the stones. In the beginning there was lots to eat, and the mice told stories of foolish foxes and silly cats. They were a happy family. See all their food around them. But little by little they had nibbled at most of the nuts and berries. The straw was gone and the corn was only a memory. It was cold in the wall, and no one felt like chatting. This reminds me of something that we're having to happen right now. We are all stuck in our houses, and the food is starting to wear away, and no one feels like chatting. Let's see what the mice do. Then they remembered what Frederick had said about the sun rays and colors and words. What about your supplies, Frederick? They asked. Close your eyes, said Frederick, as he climbed up on a big stone. Now I send you the rays of sun. Do you feel their golden glow? And as Frederick spoke of the sun, the 4 little mice began to feel warmer. Was it Frederick's voice? Was it magic? And now, about the colors, Frederick? They asked anxiously. Close your eyes again, Frederick said. And when he told them of the blue periwinkles and the red poppies and the yellow wheat and the green leaves and the berry bush, they saw the colors as clearly as if they had been painted in their minds. And the words, Frederick. Starting to get excited now. Frederick cleared his throat, waited a moment, and then, as if from a stage, he said, "Who scatters snowflakes? Who melts the ice? Who spoils the weather? Who makes it nice? Who grows the floor-leaf clovers in June? Who dims the daylight? Who lights the moon? 4 little field mice who live in your sky, 4 little field mice like you and I. One is the spring mouse who turns on the showers, then comes the summer who painted the flowers. Then fall mouse is next with walnuts and wheat, and winter is last with little cold feet. Aren't we lucky the seasons are 4? Think of a year with 1 less or 1 more." When Frederick had finished, they all applauded. "But Frederick," they said, "you are a poet." So applauded means that they clapped for him. Frederick blushed, took a bow, and shyly said, "I know it." The end. So I feel like this book is a really good example of how we can deal with things right now. We take it in the sun, and the colors, and the words when we can, and then when we need them, when we're stuck in the house, starting to feel gloomy, that's when we think of the sun and the colors and the words to make us feel better. Those things are just as important as the working. So if you're someone that's a very creative person and doesn't like to do other types of work, you still have an important place. Bye.